Welcome, everyone, again to the 2019 Suburban East Conference Music Festival. Please remember that audience members must stay in their seats until after the clinician has finished working with the performing ensemble. We also remind you to remain quiet and refrain from using electronic devices and flash photography during the session. Our clinician this year is Dr. Timothy Marr from St. Olaf College. Please welcome the Roseville Area High School Symphonic Band under the direction of Mr. Matt Donnell.
Congratulations to you all. Wonderful work. You seem to like this clarinet soloist. Okay? Congratulations. Nice over here, too. What made that work for her the best? What was she doing? She was standing up. She was playing from memory. She wasn't reading a note. It was internalized. This was like a clock back here. You guys were just rock solid. You didn't have to worry about that at all. And she could just lay that solo down. The level of trust that was going on is exactly where, I'm not even talking to you. It's exactly where it needed to be. And I've talked to the band, the select band, about looking up, getting your eyes off the music so your ears open up. And in order to be that confident with the solo, it needs to be internalized like that. Otherwise, it's sort of scary, right? But you get past that. Yeah, but it doesn't sound scary. Now it sounds like she's just trying to walk on the ice this morning, you know? It has that kind of nature about it. And so that, if anything, that's just a great model for everybody who's in here right now to take in. Congratulations to you. From the get-go, it was, we knew that this was going to be a good performance of a very demanding piece of music. I've got some notes here about some places where you might still keep working on things. And you know where it's at, and it's snow days and all that stuff as well. But the integrity that you are bringing to bear with making this kind of music happen is very impressive. Congratulations to you. We're hearing a mature ensemble sound, mature sounds across sections. You're listening to one another and blending your efforts. The arrival points, you knew where they were, didn't you? Mr. Donnell, boom! You know, he just sort of brings that baton down, and it's this composite energy from the entire ensemble that just goes out there. Kelly knows what he's doing. The guy's a masterful composer, and I know that if he heard that performance of it, he would just be screaming right now with joy. I mean, that was invigorating. So congratulations to you. Well done.
Great work. So, I'm already out of time. They informed me that I was out of time before I started. But I do want to just say a couple of things. First of all, thank you for doing such difficult repertoire. And it's difficult repertoire, but it's appropriate repertoire for the high school. So I love that you did that. And it's really great. It's a really great expression of what it means to be a human and to do repertoire from 4 really different cultures. Right, so I'm grateful for that. Also, this last piece, I was at the premiere. It was at the Choir of the World competition, and we were competing against an Indonesian choir in full dress singing this piece, which was pretty astonishing and scary for my choir. But it was amazing, and we won. So. Go USA. Anyway, but music is not about competition. So here's one thing I want to say to you. I think that in 2 pieces we can really find more shades of piano and pianissimo. And those 2 pieces are Tikus Tikus and A Boy and a Girl. In Tikus Tikus, I'm not always sure who I should be listening to. It's a piece that I know really well. And I'm not always sure, and it's not your fault, it's because you're mixed on that piece. And because you're mixed, all volume tends to come up like this. So really make sure, if you're going to continue to work on this piece, if you're going to live with this piece, that you always know who has the melody in Tikus Tikus. You know the story, right? It ends too happy with it. Okay? There should be a different emotional journey. You know what I'm not going to say it to them, but you guys know what I'm saying. So it needs to end. You know what happens. It needs to end very differently. And guys, you're just going off to war. Yay. So see if you can find those 2 levels, and they really do play. With the Whitaker, I think the whole thing can be softer. piece can make the audience go like this. And that's just going to take a lot of support and a lot of energy. Thank you so much for a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Sorry students, I have one more annoying announcement for you. Don't forget, when you're watching this performance, don't leave right after the performance. You're still to stay and watch when the clinician works with them as well. Don't trample out.
Morning. Welcome to the 2019 Suburban East Music Conference Music Festival. Please remember that audience members must stay in their seats, as was said, until after the clinician has finished working with the performing ensemble. We also remind you to remain quiet and refrain from using electronic devices or flash photography during the session. Our clinician this year is Dr. Kirk D. Moss, who serves as professor and chair of the Department of Music and Theater at the University of Northwestern in St. Paul. Please welcome the Roseville Area High School Symphony Orchestra under the direction of Patricia Kelly.
That's a workout. Congratulations. So wonderful to hear you play this. And I was commenting to your director earlier, this particular arrangement by Lucien Calais is not done frequently anymore, and it's the best of the best. So I'm so glad you're doing this orchestration of the Toccata and Fugue. And of course, when we can touch the music of Bach, we're touching the music of all of Western European world, because that really is kind of the foundation for what we do in so many ways through our tonal music in orchestra. So congratulations with that. Keep in mind, and so many good things about what you're doing. Keep in mind, what you're doing is representing instrumentally an organ, a pipe organ. So one, as much as you can go experience a pipe organ in person, and there are many in the Twin Cities and opportunities to hear, in other areas, more rural than where you are in Roseville, it'd be a little maybe tougher to find. Hear one, because there's a unique sound, and that's what we're essentially doing through this orchestration. Then that influences how we do things. So fantastic timpani playing, loved everything. Keep in mind, the timpani is going to be a pedal on an organ. So it's not going to be as dramatic. Same with the gong, is going to be a pedal, a tam-tam, going to be a pedal on an organ. So you're going to add color, but make sure we don't cover like you would in other orchestral repertoire. It's just going to kind of fill out, just like a pipe organist would push with their foot, and there's this other sound that comes out that fills. Now, how much work have you done? Just curious, do you have noted in your part the subject or the counter subject written in at this point? So as you continue to grow, this is a piece in terms of like scholarship that you could like spend a lifetime studying. So I would encourage you, and even handouts or other things, and there's so much, I mean, like you have like smartphones. So, I mean, just from your phone, you could find so many cool things. And then if you dig a little deeper, you could find entire analyses of this. And what I would encourage you to do as you're building toward future performances is begin writing in, because the fugue is a very specific type of music. I'm going to call it a quote-unquote form. Purists in music theory would argue that it's not actually a quote-unquote form. It's a fugue. But we have a subject, and we have a counter subject, and then we have episodes. How many of you had an episode this morning? That was a joke. Okay. We have episodes in our fugue. We have all these things, and it's almost mathematical. Those of you with an analytical mind, like, it's so cool, because it has to fit. Like, the subject will come in, and then the counter subject, whether it's real or tonal in the answer, is a fifth or a fourth. And then mathematically, the puzzle pieces have to fit throughout the entire thing. And the more, at this point, as well as you're playing it, the more you can begin to understand the inner workings of it, it'll help you voice it, because then the balance will become more apparent. Oh, this is the subject. Oh, this is the counter, and here's how it fits. And just those little things can help us. So I'd encourage you to travel a bit that way. Then the other thing, let's do one little playing. Where would be a nice place to work shape? Wherever you know the score. Any place where we can do shape. Where? Right on the fugue, right on the fugue. And what I'd ask you to do, you have all of the right ideas. Let's see, let me use the front and back is helpful. Here we go. Okay, so as you come in, I'm just gonna make some shapes up here, and you just play, and let's just see if we can round out some things even more, so we exaggerate just a little bit what you're already doing. But so it's less at the risk of insulting other states. It's less Nebraska, and it's more Kentucky. Okay, here we go. 2 minutes. Yeah, we have 2 minutes. We can play. Yeah. Keep the air coming. think rounded. Yeah, let's get, brass, where do you come in? Someplace big we'll do 30 seconds of. Brass, help me out. Give me a number. 16. Brass loves 16. Here we go. 16, everybody. And right on 16, and whatever tempo you play. So as much as this is coming out here, this is rounded, even though your parts are going to look really angular, but it's just expressing it. You are so on the right track. It's beautiful repertoire and meaningful repertoire you can spend the rest of your life studying. I'm so glad you can experience this now. Congratulations. Thank you, Pat.